Hi, this is Lou, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be sharing with you an abstract watercolour project that uses lots of different ways of getting texture in your watercolours to create a really interesting abstract painting. So last week I asked whether you liked formal experimentation or whether you liked just to get a blank sheet of paper and go straight for it. And there was quite a few of you who liked that option. So that's what I'm going to do here. I've already done my experiments and I've got them on hand, all my different textures. And I've got a block of watercolour paper and my set of paints here, and also all of those extra things on hand. So I've got some salt, I can scrape into it with different tools. I've got my cling film, and I'm just going to see what happens. So I want to use a variety of different colours. Let's go with some Lunar blue to start with. And let's just start painting a patch up here. And see what we fancy doing. So this is quite a granulating colour anyway, so I think I might add some of the salt onto it and see what happens, because I used the salt with a fairly smooth kind of paint before. Let's try it with the more granulating one and see what kind of effects we get. And then let's take that into some Payne's grey. A little patch of that there. It's quite dark there. And I might use the back of my paintbrush and just scratch some lines through that. At the other side. And then let's take those lines into something new. Just put a little swash of the burnt orange in there. And then I think we need to calm that down with a not a cooler colour, a softer colour. I've got some buff titanium, and then I'm just blending that into some Davy's grey, which is a really kind of soft olivey green. You don't get a lot of colour on your brush from this one, but it is a lovely colour. Dot some of that in there. And I might take that into a little bit of sepia on the corner, and then maybe that needs some cling film up here. It might need to be a bit darker there. Okay, so I've got my bit of cling film and it's already crunching up quite nicely. Let's press that down into there. Okay, and leave that to dry. Now let's move on again. I might just go for some water. Just touch the edge of that blue and watch it flow out. And then I think some Moonglow. Try and get it underneath the cling film a little bit. And I might see what that looks like with the fine salt on it. Just a little bit on there. Making another patch of this Davy's grey. So it's very nice and soft. And I'm going to try just a little bit more scratching through here. Just put in a bit of green along there. Maybe a bit more of the blue. Just wasn't happy with how those lines were sitting, so I've dabbed some Payne's grey in just to see what difference it can make. And then a couple more patches. I'll try a bit more salt on that. Can overuse these things, I'm sure. And then I've got this long stamp that I've made, and I'm going to put this down the bottom here. And I'm going to paint this quite a dark colour. And then let's put that there maybe. Okay. Interesting. I'm going to let this dry and then I'm going to come back. I might add some more layers and I'll probably do some mark making and yeah, just see if it needs anything else. This is all completely dry. I'm going to have fun. Take this off. Take my salt off. And it's really fine salt. Seems to kind of get really stuck into the page. So give it a good rub to get rid of it. And my workspace now is all salty. That off. And I think I just need a little bit more on here. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do, but I just feel like it needs a little bit more, maybe some mark making with a pen, maybe a little bit of gold. I'm not quite sure. We'll find out. So I'm really quite happy with how some of this has come out. I'm really liking these lines that I did through here, which you could hardly see when I first did them, but as the paint's dried, they've become really clear. There's some interesting textures in here where the salt was dropped, and then over here as well. And I've got this kind of lovely kind of effect from the cling film, which adds another kind of different texture as well. And then there's the stamp that I did down here, which has, yeah, each little bit of the stamp has got some texture in it, and then you've got some quite defined bits down the bottom where I've printed it onto the plain paper, and then up here where I printed it onto the slightly wet areas, it's softened there. So what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I think I've got this dark area here, and I think I just need a little bit more, maybe up here. So just another focal point area, and then perhaps some little areas of detail. So when I create artwork these days, I like lots of different styles. So I'm trying to keep in mind things that things that I feel like are important to my artwork, that should be included within my artwork, whether it's a loose abstract like this or whether it's a kind of a quite geometric one. I still want there to be areas where there's kind of space, there's visual space, but also I want there to be areas where there's lots of detail as well. I'm kind of going with a little mantra of beautifully coloured and delicately detailed. So I quite like a lot of this as it is, so going over it with some extra bits feels a bit risky, but I did feel like this white bit needed something else in there, and actually that might be enough, you know. Maybe something a bit like that. I'm just going to use just some water and blend it out this way. Maybe that needs to be straighter, a little bit more blocky. And then I want to put some art making in here, because I feel like it started out really bold, and then as it dried it kind of lost a lot of intensity. So a few dots there, and then maybe some up here as well, kind of escaping out of this area. I think it's usually a good idea to put something 3 places. I don't know why. But yeah, 3s and 5s things seem to work. So I think just a little area of that down here as well. That's quite good. Right, does it need anything else? I think maybe this area up here is a little lacking in something. I just wonder about doing some pen work up here. Maybe some like little loops or something. And I'm going with quite loose shapes. I'm kind of mirroring the salt, I suppose. It's not really like me to do such scratchy lines like that. I think maybe over here I might need something. Maybe these are more like long straight lines. Kind of echo the lines in the stamp there. Oh. Okay, just a little bit more. One area, 2 areas, 3 areas of this maybe. I feel like this could do with something here. I don't want to put the same marks there as I did here. Maybe that needs something else then. Maybe a little bit of white. These little white dots I'm putting in are so delicate as to hardly be there. They really are. You'd have to stare quite closely before you kind of notice them. But I do think they add something. And I'm feeling a lot happier about this. I'm going to leave this to dry, and yeah, I think that'll probably be it. I'll take the tape off and see what it looks like. In fact, I could do that now. Just have to be careful. I don't think I painted anywhere too close to the edge. Thanks very much for watching. I really hope that you've enjoyed this. I thoroughly enjoyed painting it, and I look forward to seeing your versions of a work like this. You can post your work to Instagram, and any work that's been inspired by any of my videos here, you can tag with Lou Rachel Davis. That's my username over there, and I love to see them, and if possible, to share them in my stories too. Thank you so much for sharing your work with me. I really enjoy seeing what you've done. If you'd like to see more from me, then do hit the subscribe button. And I look forward to seeing you again in another video very soon. Thanks, bye bye.